we're live.
Okay.
Ooh.
JB's an owl.
Who?
Tootsie Pop.
Do we just not have nobody in the chat?
There's three.
there
There's
it is.
three. There's
Bunch
three.
of Gen Xers don't know how to act.
It's a big crowd today.
Woo! Here we go. Ready?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Welcome to Creative Makers Podcast with your host, Joey with Steel Blade Woodworks, Matt with Wacky Works Workshop, Jen with Jen's Turns, Jamie with JP Woodwork, and Jake with Northside Custom Crafts. Welcome to Creative Makers Podcast, episode 54. I'm Joey with Steel Blade Woodworks, and today we're going to talk about business. So we're going to talk about how we overcome some growing pains when we start getting more or bigger orders and stuff of that nature. So how's everybody doing today?
Handling my business.
I'm all good.
Hanging
I'm
in
all good.
Standing on business.
Business.
Yeah. There you go.
Lively group,
There you go.
today.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Whistling
As,
along.
yeah,
We're just whistling along. We're just whistling
Yeah.
along.
So, as things are the same but a little bit different in the UK as it is over in the States, I thought I'd go in a different direction than you guys and ask you guys some questions. So I've come to the podcast armed with a notepad and a pen tonight.
Who are you?
And yeah, I've got some questions for you. So I'm going to kick this one off. Obviously, like we said about business. So my first question for you guys is about the market research, and I want to use Jake and his molds as an example. So obviously, there is a chance there is the same product on the market as what you're already making. So what are the steps that you guys take that your products stand out and are of the highest quality?
For mine, it was there was some block molds on the market, and they fit right into a Harbor Freight pressure pot, and I could see the price of them. I bought them because this was before I started making molds, so I bought them, and then there was things that I saw that were wrong with them, and that I thought I could fix. So when I started making molds, I fixed everything on them. But the thing that you can get is how much are they? Like how much are they charging for them, and then you have to see how much it costs you to make it, and then try to make it make sense. And that's not saying that you have to charge for that. It's that I made them better, so I need to charge what I need to charge and how much it cost me to make it. So my market research was I bought every mold that was out there, and then made it better. And then you go by cost, and then by how much it costs you to make it and how much you can charge for it. So that was mine, and I did make it better. I made them the things that were wrong with those, or just not as good with those. I wouldn't say wrong, was that they were the exact height of the pin blanks you want to make. So I made mine taller and made a fill line in there so that you could fill it up to the fill line and then take it to the pressure pot. You're not spilling everything around over there, because when I would fill them up and try to get it to the pressure pot, I'm spilling everything everywhere. So I just kind of fixed it, and that was my market research. Was I bought every mold that was made to man, whether it was plastic or silicone or whatever. I bought them all, and then went from there. And not necessarily because I wanted to make molds, because I wanted to cast. So the branch I took was to go into the silicone mold making part rather than selling blanks, but that's just what happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have,
No.
yeah, 7.
No.
So as you can see in my my screen back here, those were like the first iterations of my track saw holders. Those were probably done, I would say
3 years ago or so. And since then, I've changed the design, and not too much, but I've made them better, put better quality parts in them, and beefed them up. I went through a bunch of tests and stuff where I would hit them, just to see if they would break easier. A lot of different things as I went through till I finally got the one that I actually sell now. And it's just, you got to do it because those track saws or anything, it's expensive. And if somebody's going to trust my product to put their stuff in, I want to make sure that I've gone through pretty much all the scenarios of how they could break. Because at first you could put the track saw in there, and if you undid the latch, that track would fold over. And if you didn't catch it in time, it would hit the actual retainers that hold it in place, and it would kind of leverage in there, and it would break that piece constantly on mine. So I knew I had to go in there and keep that. The latching system, I didn't like it because a lot of people will take them and hang them from the ceiling or on their garage door when they when they lift the garage door. Now they're suspended vertically or suspended above you. So you need to make sure that they're strong enough. So that, just like Jake, I went through a lot of different styles and stuff till I finally found the right one, the right hardware, and all that entails cost. Cost of buying all these little parts to try it, and then once you finally get to the one that you like, that that'll work, that you're confident with it, to put it out to market, then that's where you come up with it. And a lot of times it's you can go out there and research and see what people are charging, but I'm going to charge what I feel my stuff is valued at. And if people buy it, they buy it. And the people that have bought it, they love them. And they always comment that it's a great product. So that, getting those comments or reviews are always helpful because, sometimes spending a little more is better because you'll get better stuff, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I went a little off track on that or not.
Track's on track.
Track's off track. As far as the laser stuff goes, I do a lot of research on Etsy to see what people are charging for similar products. I look at their reviews and see what kind of reviews they're getting. I try to make my products a little bit different, at least if not completely different than what they're doing. And even if it is a similar product, then the way I try to differentiate is the quality of it. So I'll see a lot of shops, they have a lot of sales and everything's going good for them. But when I look at the product, I still see a lot of burn marks on the back of it, or it's just not a clean product. And I push myself to do that finish work on it and make sure that a clean product is going out. Whether that's for the wood products, especially, even for the tumblers, those need cleaning up before you send them out. And so I like to double check them and make sure the lines are clean on them and that there's no residue left over. So I go through not only the laser process, but the cleaning and finishing process on all of my products. And then pricing also, those extra steps take a little bit of extra time. So if I can add a little bit of an extra charge in there, I will. If I think that pushes it over what the market will take in my area, then I won't do that, or I'll minimize it as much as I can. But those extra steps help you get those good reviews, and it helps with repeat customers.
As a customer, Jens, I can tell that those lines are squeaky clean. And I think I left a review. I said, those cups are the best cups to drink out of in the world, or something like that.
You did. I appreciated that too.
and that, it's good that you say that, because a lot of times, we preach, Jake does on Saturday morning cartoons, to, keep those thumbs up, go and comment, and that helps push that. And it does the same thing if you're buying from us on Etsy or anybody, not just us, anybody, take the time to go over there and review those items and leave, whatever you think. It helps. Hopefully it's a positive review, and that helps push your product more.
Mm-hmm.
That really does. Just like it helps push our videos. It's how it helps your stuff when you post it on any social media platform. All that helps, and taking the time to help others do that. It's a big thing,
Yeah.
So with my stuff, my molds already come from another manufacturer that I sell. So that's nothing with me. It's just packaging it up correctly, getting it out to the client. Most of my stuff that I sell, that I make myself, I sell locally. And so I've got to make sure that it's ready to go, packaged. Most of it's cutting boards, and the research I've done on my cutting boards is most people do either side grain cutting boards or they do thinner cutting boards for end grain. And I talked to people that barbecue a lot, and they all said they wanted a thicker, more robust cutting board, something bigger that they can cut up a complete slab of ribs up and cut it all up and have their stuff put off to the side. So I started making bigger cutting boards, and I put them out there, and I didn't think they were going to sell. And it was about a month or two. And the next thing I know, I got my first sale, and then the next one, and then the next one. And it was, okay. It was a little bit more than I thought it was going to go out there. But they were looking for a thicker product, a product that was going to last, something they could pass down through generations. And so that's something they were looking for, something quality over paying a third of the price for something that's not going to last, that they're going to, a year or two and it's gone. So that's what my research I did.
Yeah. And it's useful. You make a big point about cutting boards. I don't want to get too far off the topic, but when I look for something like that, I see a lot of them that aren't big. If I can't fit a brisket on it, I'm not using it. I don't need it.
Yeah.
It serves all purpose.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? A whole rack of ribs, and what's the point? Why do you want half of the rack hanging over or whatever?
Yeah, well, the very first one that they hit me up with was a 36-inch by 20-inch cutting board, and I was, you sure you want that big? Oh yeah, I want it that big, and it was 2 inches thick, and I was like, okay, in grain, and he still has it to this day. He still uses it every weekend. Every weekend he uses it. Loves it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, on to the next. So that means back to the notepad.
There we go.
All right. So, as the manufacturer of your products that you sell, how do you deal with all of the price fluctuations of the suppliers?
I just add that up. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Jake.
It's very important for me because silicone's expensive. So if it's on sale, or how much do you have to buy to get it wholesale? I have my own affiliate code. There's all kinds of stuff like that. So what I did at the beginning was, I've had affiliates that fell out before, so I'm not going to get that discount. I want that stuff. I need to get it. And before I was brave enough to buy it in bulk, I just priced it as it was. As however you can buy it, that's how I bought it. And then that's how I priced it. I put the tax in there, the shipping, everything got bottled in there. So that meant that it was how many ever cents per gram. And then you base it off that, because what if you can't get it? What if you got to go somewhere else or whatever? So you're not going to be able to get it at that absolute best price every time. So just make sure that you have some cushion in there, or just go to the top of the curve instead of the very bottom of the curve, so you're not cutting yourself short at the end of it.
Yeah, I would say if you plan on trying to have longevity in that particular product, then you're going to want a price not at the highest end, because you're going to drive customers away, unless you absolutely know that your market is there and they're going to buy it no matter what. You want to keep it in market range. And like you said, Jamie, the market changes. A piece of plywood was ridiculous prices, and they're still high, especially here in California, but they've
A bit
come
like
down a bit.
gas.
You have to go
Right.
get it too.
Right, and I have to go get it, and, there's extra taxes on it, and, the California blend, summer blend for the gas coming up here in a couple weeks. Plus the time to go across town because the lumber supply is not across the street. So you add all of that in there, but not always your time in it is not always at the premium. You know, you have to kind of weigh your options and see where it's going to fall. And like Jake measured his out by the gram, I figure out the square inches and determine what that product costs per square inch plus per minute of my time and whatever extra materials are in it, whether I'm using masking over it or paint, glue, whatever, disposables,
Mm-hmm.
it all gets added in there. If prices go up just a little bit, I try to keep it steady as long as I can so the customers are not interrupted. But if it's a sustained increase, then eventually you have to raise your prices to match that because, a lot of these products we're not selling for an exorbitant profit anyway. So if we as the manufacturers keep eating that so that the customers don't have to, you're not making anything, you're losing money on it. So it has to be gradual and give and take with the market. So, and most people understand that, but you can't turn around and your supplies go up $5. You can't increase the cost of your product $20. People aren't going to buy that.
Right.
They're watching the market also and can see how much stuff is going up, and they'll accept a certain amount, but they're not gonna accept a double.
Yeah, I mean, you're pricing it what you can pay for it at what you're paying for it at this time. So it's not like you're jumping it out of the atmosphere, but you're trying to keep competitive with what you're having to pay for it as well. Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you got to make it worth your time, regardless. So if I'm going to sit here and put stuff together or 3D print and wear and tear on my 3D printers, then take the time to set everything up, buy all these parts to make a $2 profit, that's not worth it to me. I just rather just let them sit there. And that could be also bad. I mean, it could be where I don't sell anything. Kind of like I'm at the point right now where for whatever reason, my stuff has not moved. I've gone 3 weeks with no sales.
Betsy's out of there, dude.
Yeah, it's just done. It's done. Yeah. I turned off all my marketing because now I'm just wasting money. No matter how much marketing I throw at it, they're just not moving. So either, am I priced out of range? Am I priced out of the market? I could be. Am I going to lower my prices? Nope, because that's what it's worth. And I'm not going to do it. And if they sit here, they sit here. I'll just go buy more tracks and hang more tracks in my shop. I mean, it's just, I mean,
a track for every occasion.
There you go. I'm not going to, it comes to a point. I'm not going to try to lower my prices to, because by the time you add in materials for packaging, shipping, all shipping costs, the material used to make it, my time, my 3D printer's time, electricity, the margins aren't very big, but they're big enough to where I'm happy with it. But if I lower it, I'm not going to be happy with it. And I'm just not going to sell it. I'm not going to give them away because at that point I'm giving them away, So I don't know what's going on with Etsy. I don't know if other people are seeing that, or maybe that product's just saturated because I was doing real good with it. I mean, I was selling the heck out of them and I haven't sold nothing, which I don't know. And I've been a star seller, but this month I'm not because I haven't sold anything. So
Yeah.
there's nothing to give me praise
Yeah,
about. They're just
I took my ads off too because I wouldn't sell anything. Since I took it off, I'm still getting people favorite them. I'm still getting people follow you and all that kind of stuff, but they're not buying. So if why spend the money on advertising? I think it just goes in spells too, like what season it is, and it's about to be summertime, and the kids are about to be out of school and stuff like that. So just those are the kind of things you got to think about.
And we got to take into consideration the market too. I mean, it's tough times out there. Cost of fuel, cost of living, food prices. There ain't a whole lot extra for folks to spend on stuff like that, and it's tough times, for everybody. So that's a big factor in some of that stuff. They don't have extra money to go spend on these other things that they would like to have. So, it is what it is. I mean, sometimes just as people are having problems and they're living paycheck to paycheck or whatever, we as small businesses, we're going to take the hit on it too. All the increases that, you're going to put food on the table for your family, or you're going to go buy a mold or a track saw holder or a cup. No, you're going to put fuel in your car to go to work. That's more important than this kind of stuff. And we take the hit on it, which it's tough.
Where everybody already spent all their tax money.
Right. Well, and I have stuff in a storefront location here, and I pay just a monthly rent. It's not a commission or anything. I just pay a flat fee. And this last month was the first month that I didn't sell a single product. And when I went in to switch out some of the stuff, the owners of the store were saying this is the worst they've seen it in a while. Like, everybody knows historically the winter months are a little bit slower because everybody's done with Christmas, everybody's taking a breath, doing spring cleaning, getting rid of stuff. But by April, people are starting to shop again, and they just aren't seeing it. And they've talked to other storefronts within that whole strip mall, and they're all saying the same thing. So it's across the board, like Jeff in the chat was saying. Retail is slow right now. So, and I'm seeing the same on my Etsy. Like, people that are buying things are because I've put a listing out there for something that they've specifically asked me for. Except for I sold a couple of the Saturday morning cartoon cups.
Yeah.
So
that's good news, man.
Yes, thank you for those sales, Jake. But it's hard right now. Times is tough. Times is tough out
the
there.
economy. It's the economy in a whole. I mean, it's tough, and I get it. And I pretty much figured, just like Jake, I'm still having people come through my storefront. They're still favoring my items. They're still liking it, and I put stuff on sale. I know where my threshold is, and I'll just leave it at that, and I just keep running a sale. And I keep posting more stuff to, another thing is being mindful of marketing yourself, putting stuff out there to all your social media platforms as well. So, it's what it is, it's just tough times right now. Hopefully it'll pick up and start doing better.
Yeah,
it will.
It will. It will. Yeah. Okay. On to the next. So, in the UK, it is not a law, but it is highly advisable to have some sort of liability insurance when selling online or at craft fairs. Is it the same as in the USA?
I have insurance on mine. Most events require insurance here in California because California. Not everywhere requires it, but most do. So Joey just made a sale. Woo!
We did. It was a podcast shirt, so good deal. Appreciate it, Mike.
There we go.
I didn't mean to guilt you into that. It's not what this is about. You didn't have to, but thank you.
If you love your country, you'll buy a shirt.
I recommend the red, white, and blue ones here.
There you go.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Insurance.
Insurance. I have insurance for mine. but not everybody does, especially if it's people that are just doing it as a hobby and not as a business. So.
I had one really big show. It was like the entry fees altogether were around $1,700, and $100 of that was insurance, and you just paid the event that, so you didn't have to carry it yourself. You just paid them for them to carry it on you. But most of the time here, you don't have to have anything.
Yeah, well, when we had a brick and mortar store back in the day, we had to hold insurance, and again, that adds cost to everything. You got to figure in that cost to all your products, right? And that was quite expensive because we had to have a pretty good size umbrella to protect ourselves, and then the landlord of that shopping center required a certain level of insurance that we, and we had to have it. That was part of the contract that we signed. So, and it protects you, because it is out there. People will sue, so we're not going to be stupid about it and not, no, we'll be fine. No, you got to protect your assets. And so that all adds cost into your products. And it's it's not right, but you got to have it. You got to have it to protect yourself. And if you want to do business, it's cost of doing business, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I don't do events, but I did have to when they came out and did the assessment, the insurance people come out and do an assessment of the property, this, that, and the other, when you have extra buildings on it, and they saw the extra building. So they come out and look at the extra building, and then they walk inside the building. They said, well, this is more than your $50,000 coverage for your tools and stuff, and it's stuff inside the building. And I went, okay, how much extra is this going to cost me? So you have to go through that whole evaluation and assessment, and they come up with a cost, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah. And if you tell them you're running a business out of there, now that's a whole nother ball of wax there. Yeah. That's just like, it's a hobby. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
We're the same way. Yeah, we're the same way, because I got to have insurance coverage out here. And it's not for in case anybody gets hurt. It's just in case God
loss and liability.
Yeah, something happens.
Yep.
At least your tools are covered, and that's that's the main part, because I couldn't even imagine, knock on wood, that if something like that was to happen, or we're down here in the hurricane zone, or just anything, it would be devastating. We've seen people in our community that it's happened to, and it's devastating. So, it is what it is. You got to have that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It all adds cost. It all adds up at the end.
Yeah. So, people just look at me and just go, yeah, you're an insurance claim waiting to happen, aren't you?
There you go.
You should know.
You snuck that one in there, didn't you?
All right. So how long did it take for you to get where you are happy with your production, and how do you manage it?
Not happy with my production.
No.
Buy more things to make those things.
Yeah. I mean, the goal is to expand, to have steady orders. And then I'll be happy. If I could get something consistent going, of course I'm happy and I'm grateful for what I have right now. But the ultimate goal is to have consistency.
A drum sander.
I'm kind of giving up on the drum sander. I'm not making cutting boards so much anymore, so I don't really need it.
They're pretty nice.
But just to interrupt you real quick, I did use a coupon this weekend at Rockler.
I have one staring at me, and I have not gone to the office this week, and my office is about 2 miles from the Rocklers. So I'm like, don't do it.
This week's a good one, Jen. This week's a good one.
That's
Was
good.
it 20% off?
Up to 50% off.
What? See, look at you. Try. Nope, not going to do it.
You have to get something.
It's for your business.
No, but back to Jamie's question. I am not satisfied with production right now. I would like to have more production, and to be that productive, I need to stay organized, get organized, stay organized, and that means rearranging the shop so it has a good workflow, and shipping center. All of that plays into that production timeline.
Yeah, I as y'all saw this past year, I did that for my shipping part because it was just total disaster. And then now going through this kind of renovation in here to organize, because organization is key. When you have things scattered all over the place, it just takes longer to do certain things, and it just gets aggravating. Trying to consolidate like all my 3D printers, put them all in one spot to where, just makes it easier starting up when I'm starting to print, and then, just having more room, because that's where you kind of get into some problems,
So I've been making these molds for 3 years now, and the last month has told me, it's kind of let me know how many I need to make or how many I need to have on hand and all of that kind of stuff. So until now, I would just sell in like a few here, a few there. We'd run sales on cartoons and stuff, and then you get a big sale, and then luckily I had enough on hand and I had enough materials to make enough to do that order. But now, so what I did was I recreated that order. So I've got silicone, and I just made it as fast as I could, and I redid that order. So everything, I know this is a podcast, and let me look you in the eye when I'm saying this. This up here took 150 molds, took a full week to do it. So now I know how much material I need, how much it costs, how many I can make, and now I know how big of a space it takes to store it. So this week I am okay with my production process after 3 years, I guess, if that was a question.
Yeah,
I think,
I mean, I'll go a little further on that. Go ahead, Matt. Sorry, I'll wrap. I'll come back after you.
I think the organization thing was key. I told y'all I was been working on organization for a while now, and it takes a lot longer. The more that you let it go, the worse it takes. I'm here to tell you, but it made a difference. I started shooting a video. I started doing some stuff the other day, and for production, for getting something out, and it was so much easier just having things right there, ready, available. I didn't have to walk across the shop, try to figure out where a pencil was, or I didn't have to go try to figure out where a screwdriver was, or whatever the tool was. You knew where it was. It was organized. You could find it, and it was like I got done, and I was like, I had extra time, and I was, wow. That went a lot easier. So that production got better. I'm not saying I'm happy with it completely, but the organization has made a big difference.
And I'm going to go back and hit on the the tools that you use, kind of like Jake has simplified his molds from where he started. The same thing goes for me, like on 3D printing. A lot of stuff that I do sell is 3D printer stuff, 3D prints, or I'll occasionally make some laser stuff, or, if I have somebody that wants multiple amounts of things, I'll do that. The one-offs, I'll do them if I have the time. But speeding up the process, buying these newer printers to where I have to use less printers, and I save an enormous amount of time. So I'm not really scared anymore to put stuff out there. Usually with my old 3D printers, I would only put what I had in stock. That's all I would sell. And then once it started, I started seeing it go down, I would start printing, and I would have to print for days to catch back up. Versus now with these new 3D printers, I'm printing 2 days, and that gives me so much product that I literally, those printers, and it goes because I haven't sold anything, but in 2 days of printing pretty much
like start on a Friday night and I did all Saturday. And when I stopped Saturday, I had more product than it would. Let me put this right. My old printers, it would take me about 4 days to print what these printers printed in a day and a half.
Wow.
So we're having the right tool for the job.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I mean, and that helps out because that's less stress. And you can let your inventory get down a little lower and not be, stressing out about, well, I need to get in there and print. These printers, they're not perfect. And I haven't had any issues, but every time I print, it's the same. It does what it's supposed to, and it does it so quick. And it's like, you get more confidence in your stuff, which if I develop more, I wouldn't be scared to put more out there because I know these things can keep up with the demand. And if I need to, I would get more, but I'm pretty happy with where I stand. I don't even use my old printers anymore at all. They haven't been turned on since I bought the bamboos.
The decorations.
Yeah, pretty much.
Donations.
There you go. So that's actually a good segue there from Joey's answer. Are you set up to maintain your usual standard of customer service should a huge order come in?
I wasn't. And that's why I had to expand this office, as a bunch of y'all have probably seen. I know all y'all have, and a lot of other individuals. So I knew that as I take my business further and wanting to produce videos and as I grow and I start selling more, I needed more room because I quickly ran out of room in this office when I first built it. I figured it was going to be, that's plenty. I'm not going to need any more. And I quickly realized that no, it's not. And I had to rob some space from my wood shop to do this, but I'm super glad I did it because it opened it up, and now it gives me more room to grow. But and just to organize everything in here because it was a mess. It's just stuff thrown everywhere, and I can't stand that. And I had to do something about it. So no, I had to actually do a big renovation to offset that, to make it workflow better now, or work better for me, if that's right, whatever. But yeah, so that's what I did.
So for mine, I thought Jake was going to start talking, but then he kind of pointed. So for mine, yes and no. Right now, I can handle things. If a big order comes in for one type of product, like if it's cups, I can run a bunch of cups, no problem. But if I get a big order for a bunch of cups and a bunch of flat work at the same time, then I'm going to have an issue. I'm going to have to prioritize who's came in first and how much time is each one going to take, and communicate with those customers and let them know here's the expected timeline and meet it. What I've done to remedy that is a little bit crazy, but I've ordered another laser.
What?
And
Jenny,
shit,
did you use a coupon?
No, but
That's a real.
I did get a free fiber laser with it also. So, buy one, get one free.
That's better than
I
a
guess
coupon.
lasers. I ordered a new Eon Mira 9 red line. It's brand new. They're not even on the market.
Wow.
So I'm waiting for that to come in. It'll be here midsummer, towards the end of summer, depending on how shipping goes. And the reason I did that is because I am trying to expand into wholesale. But I would like for that to be a major part of the business. And so my plan is to keep my rotary for cups and, round items set up on the Ohmtech as it is, because I've got the nice pie burn rotary. It's all set up and everything. And that machine could just stay set up that way. So I don't have to tear it down, re-put in the blades and everything else, so that I can do flat work. All the flat work can be done on the Mira, and it's supposed to be super fast. So it'll be more productive on both ends when those come in. And then the fiber laser, I'm going to have to learn all about that one. I haven't messed with those at all.
And she's worried about summer blend gas.
Oh, she's worried about it because she's got to pay for these lasers. Yeah.
That's awesome, Jen. That is cool.
That is cool.
Thank you.
Nice.
I am excited. I am scared because it's a little bit crazy, but
It's all right. Be fine.
You'll be all right.
You'll be all
I'm
right.
going to work my butt off to make it work out. So
There you go.
You
anybody
already
needs
do.
an order?
Every day you go in and you're enjoying the fruits of your labor. So you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
So as far as the customer service part of it is, I mean, as far as keeping up production, that's one side of it. But the other side is every order that I get, I print off the receipt, and then I'll say thank you, and I'll say them by name, and then sign my name to it, put a sucker in there. And if it depends on who it is or what they bought, I might put extra stuff in there or whatever. And so if I had 100 orders, I just make sure to not skip that part. So just make sure that you're writing a handwritten thing. You don't have to say much. Just say, hey, thank you, Kimberly, or thank you, Jeff, or thank you, Connie, that just got in there. And then throw a sucker in there. And a lot of times if people do a lot of orders, or people in the blank clubs and stuff, I know what color sucker they like. And so that kind of stuff is probably more important than the things that you're selling sometimes.
Yeah.
I get more people comment about the suckers and stuff. They're the popsicles than the actual blanks. So if I had 100 orders, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure they all get a handwritten note and they all get a sucker, and it's all done like that. You cannot skip that part.
Yeah. So as Jake was saying,
those
he does
little extra
lollipops.
touches.
He does lollipops because that's a thing on his show, right? So I was thinking, what can my thing be? So the other day, let me put my glasses on for this.
Uh-oh.
I ordered the little box of nerds to throw in my
Yes.
Y'all are handing out diabetes with your stuff. I see how y'all.
Yeah.
Diabetes.
Hey, it's good. I'll take some diabetes.
Diabetes. The
Gotta keep
diabetes.
coming
not
back.
the real stuff.
Diabetes.
So what I found and I messed this up when I first started doing stuff was not keeping communication with your client. So I would have people order cutting boards, and I'd go get the materials, and the moisture would be too high, and I'm not going to have it curl up on me. So I gotta wait for it to dry. I got to do other things with it. And one client I did not keep communication with. And they hit me up and goes, hey, you going to give me the cutting board anytime soon? And I went, man. And I hit him up and I explained it, and it was fine, but still, you feel bad at that point. So I learned, when you get your materials in, and if you didn't have any materials, you better, be ready for it. But you get your materials in, it's wet. You can't, hey, listen, we're going to be a week or so late because of this. And usually they're pretty cool about it. So.
Hey, I forgot to put. Someone had ordered several molds, and I forgot to put $150 molds in the box. And they got on the contact form and was like, "Hey, I think you might have shorted me a box." And then I go, "Yeah, I did." Like, how when you do something or whatever, I took the mold out of the box to put some more stuffing in there or whatever. And then for some reason, I was like, when I got to the post office, I was like, man, something just isn't right. So whenever they contacted me, I called them right away, and I'm like, look, I got it going right away. Just fix it. And they had a real good attitude about it. And what can you do besides fix it?
That's it.
But that's a pretty big mess up.
Yeah,
that's always good. I've had to deal with some on Etsy where stuff gets damaged, and you got to put a policy in there, but some of that stuff, it's just like, I'm not going to make somebody spend money. I lost money, but
at the end they were happy and they've come back and bought more, right? So I was very responsive and quick. I try to get my stuff out. I make fun of Jake because as soon as Jake gets an order in, he's packaging it. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
It'll eat. I've come out of bed because I had an order, and I've come out here and packaged it just so it would go out the next day. And people appreciate that because they're like super fast shipping. Now if I usually when I get everything in, it's getting packaged that day. I'm going to send it out. And that way they know, because even though my business hours are set, I still try to get it out because I know I'm one that if I order something, I'm like a little kid. I can't wait to get it. I want it.
Leaves it in the box.
We're not talking about that, Matt. Yeah, we don't have to bring that up.
Oh, I was trying to help you.
No, you're not. So, anyhow, I try to get my stuff out super quick. And if there's an issue, I try to get it resolved and make it a lot less stressful on my client. If it got damaged, they're like, do you need to ship another one? I'm like, dude, no. I don't need you to spend money. I'm just sending you another one. It's easier. Just leave a good review and it'll be out tomorrow. Done deal. And you lose a little money, but sometimes they're going to come back and buy 2 times more. And I've had that happen. So.
Yeah. Well, there's what 15 people watching here. I guarantee you got an opportunity to go and see Jake box a mold up if you want. If you head over to his website now, he will leave the show.
I got it bad.
All right. Following on from what Matt actually said, do you always keep your shelves stocked for the same reason as before, as in should you get a huge order?
Yes.
You try.
Absolutely.
Yep. I did. I rearranged this whole shop so that I could have inventory for the next time. This whole part back here, there's nothing the same about how it was before. Everything is different, and that's why I haven't really got this set up right and everything, And I don't like making eye contact with people, so it's one of those deals. But I'll get that fixed too. But it's one of those deals. I had to buy this stuff right away because it needed to get fixed right away. Like if you don't have the inventory, what are you doing?
Yeah, I won't list. Yeah, I won't list nothing unless I have it. I have a sizable inventory of it. For one, because it can get crazy all of a sudden, and you don't want to be sitting there selling things that you don't actually have, and something goes wrong with your machine or whatever comes up. And now you have to tell that customer, hey, there's going to be a delay or et cetera, et cetera. It's just better to, you're spending a little money because you're having that stuff just sit there. But in the long run, it's better. It's less stressful because if demand does pick up, at least you have that cushion there that gives you time to produce more and you can continue to make money. Because the worst thing I think that you want to do is put something, out of stock, because most of the time anybody that was going to buy it is not going to come back and buy it. So it's best to, I think, in my opinion, for what I do, I keep an abundance stocked up in my shipping little closet over there.
I try to keep things in stock, and so what I try to do is try to get rid of what I have. So let's just go with cutting boards because it's just easy for me to figure out. I'll try to go through and make all my cutting boards up, and then I'll talk to my supplier of wood, which is Peach State Lumber here in Georgia, and he'll say, "Yeah, we got a big shipment coming in, and our prices will be a little bit lower per board foot on those because we got such a quantity of it, and they pass that savings on." And so I'll try to wait till then and hopefully not have to run out of stock. between then. So if I can get a better deal on lumber, I try to be able to pass that savings on. But sometimes you get caught with your pants down, and you just gotta go buy it and not have it in stock at that point in time.
Yeah.
One thing I did learn when I did this last order was I had 200 or 300 pounds of silicone, but I didn't make anything with it because I didn't know what was going to sell, which I could have just made a little bit of everything. And then I would have had the order done, but I didn't know. So 2 of the kits, 2 part Bs of 2 of the kits were bad. So then I had to make an emergency out of it and call Alumilite to get more on the way, and then order some more and get it. And then I still got it all done, but it created an emergency. And then the lesson was that the silicone doesn't do you any good when it's in the buckets.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and just make something out of it. If you have, when you have time, make something out of it, put it on the shelf, and then you don't have to worry about things going bad or storing things or anything like that. But that might be particular to me in silicone. If you have some wood sitting there, it's probably not gonna go bad. It may warp or get humidity in it or something like that. But
That's
it does me no good if it's in the bucket still.
Yeah.
Right. But that's what if it warps or something, that's what they make drum sanders for.
Yeah.
Matt's on fire today. Man.
Yeah. Hey, is he just being a bully? He's been a bully since before the show started. Yeah. And that's it. I mean, the same thing I do with filament. If I catch it on sale, I'm putting money out of my pocket, and it may, but I keep a stock. I keep a fairly decent stock of filament. One thing is if I can buy it at a discount, it improves my profit margin. 2, if I get a big run, I know I have enough stock and put back to where I'm not going to be freaking out and getting close to running out of filament, just kind of like Jake with the silicone and you with the wood and,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, with all that being said, I made some honeycomb for handle blanks and for bottle stoppers. We're going to do that on the show this week, but I don't have any more filament. So whenever we show it, they're going to be like, hey, can I buy one? Can I buy one? I'm going to say, no,
how about no?
I'll say, settle down. So it's part my fault for showing stuff, but we have a show to do too every week too.
Yeah.
When they come out, they're pretty cool.
With mine, I know the wholesaler. Sorry, guys. I know the wholesaler can get me cups. If I order in the morning or early in the afternoon, they can normally ship that same day, and they ship overnight. So I can get cups delivered the next day so that I can start an order.
She's got it that way.
Yeah. With wood, I try to keep enough on hand so that if an order comes in, I could go ahead and make it. I've got a pretty good supply. But with the plywood, it's hard because the supplier, there's been so much rain and stuff lately that a lot of it is warped. And so even though they have it on hand, when I get it home, it's not cutting clean in the laser because it's going like this, So
It's ocean art.
It's ocean art.
Ocean art.
We call that partially cut.
Yeah. You're trying to saw away at it with an X-Acto knife on the back or a box cutter, and I'm like, this is a waste of time. And so you have to cut a whole new one and hope that one goes through. So I try to keep plenty on hand so that if something does go wrong like that, then I have another piece to work with and I can get orders out. I do have some items on Etsy to where I have it marked that I have items in stock, and I do, but most of my items I try to do just as one-offs as people order them.
Yeah.
I've had issues like that where I go and buy plywood, and then coming from there to here and just acclimating, even if I have it out in the shop and I cut it up and into right size pieces, I bring it into here and let it acclimate, because as soon as it hits this cold air coming out from the high humidity hot, that thing coils up like a taco,
you know.
Yeah.
So I got to let it sit for a while. Shut up,
Probably a
Matt.
year or so.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
and
You get taco, and we get a California wave going in ours.
Yeah,
yeah, so you know,
yeah. I've had a resin and wood blank sent to me before. It's just split straight in two.
Oh, did
It
you?
happens.
did you?
Yeah,
Hey, if you could dish it out, you could take it today, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I can.
Somebody needs to learn how to
And
glue stuff
soccer
up.
players over there. Soccer players over there.
I think it was the shipping. The shipping did it.
This is going
Yeah.
downtown.
all right. So, do you have a plan in place to keep up traction should the spike drop?
I'm waiting for the spike to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't quite understand that question. What did you say?
Do you have a plan in place to keep up traction should the spike drop? Like, for example, do you have a plan to keep up sales if another pandemic happened, for example?
Well,
Or
just
people
Well,
quit buying
here's-
track holders.
here-
Yeah.
Here's my answer to that. This is this is I hope people don't take this wrong. I have a job. This is a hobby, and I don't. For that question is not a good one for me. I do want to make money off of this, but I'm not forced to have to worry about it. If that makes sense, right?
Mhm.
I'm different than other people, right? Jake,
Yeah,
that's his full-time deal, you know. So it's very different for him.
Mhm.
So go ahead, Jake. I'll
So the big order that I got was from Exotic Blanks, and so the plan is I'm going to help them advertise too. So I want people to go there. If you're going to go there and buy their stuff, then of course I'm going to make more if you buy it from me, but I really don't care if you go buy it from them also, so that they can order it again. So all I can really do is help out the people that have helped me, whether it's the people in chat or the companies that we work with or whatever. All I can do is put out content and do the best that I can do to get their products out there, and then therefore they're going to help get my products out there. There's a video. I put out a reel yesterday or the day before, and I had 3 companies as collaborators, and it's got over 50,000 views. And that doesn't happen all the time, but if you're consistently working with these people, then you're gonna get some traffic, whether it's to your videos or to the products you sell or to Patreon or whatever. It's just keep all I can do to keep the spike going is just keep working, just keep going at it, and keep doing the right thing. That's about it.
There you go. Okay. So we've got. Is your shop big enough to facilitate, say, for example, double your current orders?
Oh yeah.
I reorganized, yes, and I'm gonna have to reorganize when the new lasers come in. And I just did a reorg a couple months ago, so it's a continual evolution, right? You have to make sure that no matter what's going on, you're making your workflow efficient.
Yeah, now that I've done the reorganization, it's yeah, I can do it now. Before, I wouldn't. I would have curled up in a ball and just no.
Yeah, with the moves I've made, for sure, no problem. I could do a lot of things. As far as the stuff that I sell, that's why I had to do what I had to do, because just make more room in case that does happen or something else comes up where I buy another piece of equipment. I didn't have any room, so I needed more space.
Right.
So who knows if something else will come in here.
I got this big order, and then I had to get more silicone, and then I got these shelves, and I got the melamine to go on top, and then the last video I edited, I had a bunch of trouble with the computer, so I bought another computer to edit on. So that big order is
All gone.
It's gone. And you just need to be prepared for that. If you do anything of any kind of substance like that, it's gonna acquire more cost, and you're gonna rearrange a shop or need more equipment or something, and just as long as you're eating some burritos every day, man, just keep it rolling and organize and buy the things that you need to for the next one to be better.
The saying, it takes money to make money, is
Cost of doing
very
business.
true in this world.
Yes.
Cost of doing business. There's always little things. It's gonna, you can try to just skim by with the bare minimum, but at some point you need to up your game. You need to have a better, appearance. Like when you're shipping stuff, make sure it looks, more professional, because that goes a long ways. Having those little added things, like y'all send candy or a brochure with discounts on their next order, or just different things, but all that comes at a cost, and it's gonna take money, like Jen says, to make money.
Yeah, it costs you. I mean, it costs you to learn. I don't care what anybody says. You can watch YouTube all you want to, but until you grab a hold of that wood or whatever it is, whatever your product is, until you grab a hold of it and start doing it, it's going to cost you something.
Well, just for instance, we make these 3D printed things for the handles, the new honeycomb and stuff that I made. So if I wanted to do the same thing I did with the pin blanks, that's 7 different colors. It's going to be 2 rolls per color. So it's 14 rolls of filament, and hope that somebody wants one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the level of stuff that you get into. And if you want to do it, you got to do it. You just have to bite the bullet and go and buy that filament, and then spend a week just with the 3D printers running full time, and then put it up. And then hopefully hopefully one of them will hit, or some people will like them or whatever. But it's just one of those, every time I do something new, it's like, hey, here's a bunch of money that I may never get back.
Yeah. I've got a lot of stuff sitting on the shelf right now, so hey, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. There you go. All right. Well, lady and gent, I'm all out of questions, so I guess speed round and over to you peoples.
Yeah. I think we're at the hour. Do we need to do a speed
round? Nah, we don't need to do a speed round.
They tell time different in the UK.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess just go around the table. What we got left, what we're doing this week.
Hold on. Jenny, what are you doing this week?
This weekend, I will miss Saturday morning cartoons. I will watch the replay because I have a vendor fair. It's a new one for me, so I'm hoping new clientele, a bunch of farmers and ranchers in that area. So hopefully get the name out there and see what happens.
There you go.
The International Harvester.
Matthew?
I am in the middle of building the table for my Winfinity CNC, which I had to call them today because it's been a little bit longer than 6 weeks. And they said it would be out next week. Be shipping out next week, 7 to 10 days shipping. So yeah, that's what I'm in the middle of, filming that.
There we go. Jamie Pye.
I'm just making videos, and I will be doing Saturday morning cartoons because I don't have a vendor fair this week.
We're going to be doing Saturday morning cartoons. We're going to have some 3D printed stuff and some giveaway stuff, and hopefully come in. Hit the like button, pretty please. Gosh dang it. There we go.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it.
I will too also. Man, I can't talk today. I will also be on Saturday morning cartoons, I believe. It's a busy month for me. There's a lot of stuff happening, transitioning over to things. I'm going to try to put some content out. I haven't been able to do it this week. I'm going to get this last video done I need on that little diode laser, and hopefully have that out next week is what I'm trying to do. Other than that, who knows how much I will be in the shop this month, but we'll try to get out here. But I will be on here on cartoons as much as I can possibly be. Anyhow, until next week, remember, please, to go out and leave us a review on your favorite podcasts.
hopefully Apple Podcasts, and make sure you leave us 10 stars. I want 10 stars.
10.
But also go
10,
over
10.
and check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Creative Makers Podcast. And until next week, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate all the questions. And if we didn't get to any questions, we apologize. We'll get to it. And if you did hear the blowhorn in the background that Matt keeps signaling, I apologize.
Got a tugboat. Got a tugboat.
It's tugboat. Okay. So on that note, thank you, everybody. We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place, same beautiful faces. And bye.
Bye.